Hey, I'm Tom DeLonzo Baker. I'm the founder of Total Motion Release, and I also do staff training that oftentimes isn't known about how much I try to help you guys as owners um, automate the getting patients to complete in your clinic. I don't know whether automating is the right word or not, but not only do we want to help you double the number of patients completing care, first we have to make you locate what percent are actually completing, because it's much higher. You're going to say it's much higher than it actually is. I want to show you how to do that, but then I want to show you the three tactics we use to really change that, all right, and be able to supervise it in just a matter of minutes. Right? So what I want to be able to do is I want you to not only be able to double the number of patients completing, but I also want to be able to make it so that you feel comfortable with any VIP walking through the door being treated by any of your staff. If right now you would have to cherry pick who would treat a VIP, then your training routines aren't what they should be. This is where I was too at one time. I'd be like, oh yeah, that person's coming, they need to see them, or they need to see them. So if that's part of your problem too, then great. So we're going to help you with doubling the number of patients completing the entire plan of care. In this day and age, as far as revenue being decreased and all, this will really help just with the people that are already with you. So the very first tactic that I'm going to talk about in this video is the get standards in place. Get the criteria for what is a completion. So here's it is. I'll go out to seminars and I'll ask owners and I'll say, hey, what percent of your patients are completing the plan of care? And you know, bar none, just about everybody will say 70% or greater. I go, really? I said, okay, so what's the criteria that in your clinic that states what a completed plan of care is? And they fumble around a little bit, and they gradually pull out a couple, and they get 4 to 5 of them. And I say, okay, so if I ask your staff, will they repeat exactly what you just said? And they said, no. And I go, okay, good. So you don't have that known and being followed. Is that correct? And they go, yeah, I guess so. I said, okay, so we've got to get what the criteria is known and followed. So let's work on that together so you guys can work on it together at your clinic. And they said, okay, fair. And I said, all right, so once we have gotten that done, we'll then actually pull some charts, I know, EMR charts, let's just say, and see what we truly have as a percentage. All right, so here, standards of completion. These are the ones that we found to be the most beneficial for very specific reasons. Many of these, I think we only started with 4, but we added up to, I think there's 7 or 8 that we went to. So the first one is minimum percent better. Right? So you as your group of people, as your staff, ask, what do you think the minimum percent better they have to be before they leave? We're not looking for the max, we're looking for the minimum. And we said about 80%. All right, so we didn't say about, we said 80%. If they don't hit 80%, it's considered not completed. Fair enough. And so watch what happened. They said it was cool. They said 80, we said 80%. Together, what percent satisfied? We go at least an 8 out of 10. Because if there's 7 or below, we felt like there was something that maybe they weren't happy with, maybe they didn't understand. And we put minimum percent satisfied. All right, minimum number of visits was the most controversial. It was the most difficult one. This one we even had to put a number on, then come back and revisit it a couple times, and then we hit it. And we said the minimum number of visits is 8. And I know you're going to have staff or even yourself saying, yeah, but. Like, what if they're 98% better, but they only came for 2 visits? Is that considered completion? And we'd say, because we're trying to make the standards, okay, it would not, because they didn't meet the number of visits. So we put down the number of visits minimum was 8. So even if somebody got 100% better and only showed up for 2, it wasn't considered a completion. That's okay, because all of it's going to average together and give each person a percentage, a starting point to show how they can get better. All right, now we can easily look back. Hey, their numbers are really horrible as a clinician. Well, let's look back. Maybe all their patients did have these major improvements and they're all better after that. But what we began finding was that patient that only came for 2 that looked 100% better is we dove deeper into tissue, all right, and we made them do more second degree or 2D or 3D or functional motions. We actually could find more and more stuff. So we put a minimum of 8 visits. We eventually, our average ended up becoming all the way from 6 visits, went all the way up to 11 to 14 visits on the average, which was, we even doubled again, the number of visits that people were coming, which was really cool. And it wasn't on a, ooh, the business says, let's do this. It was because of the way that we ran this, and because it just came and showed and reflected to my therapist that, oh my gosh, I really am not doing justice oftentimes when I let them leave in two, because they could have been educated more. We didn't actually go into more dynamic motions of that might face in life. Okay, so anyways, just let you know that. And then we did progressive goals. These were really cool. These really set us apart. So if somebody couldn't take a step because they had knee pain up a stair, we would then put a 4-inch step as progressive. We'd say to them, hey, we want to do a 4-inch step. We're going to do an 8-inch step. We're going to do a 12-inch step, and a big-ass hairy goal is to be able to step up on a chair. Right? How's that sound to you? Yeah, that's good. And we want them to at least meet the third one. Right? They met the third one, boom, they're good to go. Right? So now what we're doing is we're creating our goals together. Right? We're getting them involved so that when they say, hey, am I ready for discharge? We go, hey, let's go check our goals. All right, hey, did we meet this? Now, some of you guys may be taking goniometric measurements for the doctor or something like that. That's fine. And you want to be within functional limits. Cool. But we also had these, which are really cool. Hey, I want to be able to play on the floor with my grandkid. We break that up into 4 steps that were progressively better, or more improvement involved. Like, for example, squat down. Okay, get on your knees for 10 seconds. Be able to crawl around with your kid for 5 minutes, and all the way up. Big old carry goal that I could just stay on my knees all I wanted to or something. Next one is, this was huge. Come in for the last visit. We noticed, and this is what my staff came up with. We noticed that people were calling in and saying, hey, I'm done with therapy. Whoa. They're telling us when they're done because they know it. And so what we began doing is this preempted my therapist to say, hey, look, be sure to come in for, it appears maybe the next visit is your last one. Be sure to come in for this one, because we're going to talk about what's next. All right, we're going to talk about when you leave here, what's next. So there was a lot more conversation. And then if they did cancel the last visit, the therapist would have to get on the phone and try to talk them through coming back in to see this. This is huge. And this is the one that they said it made them feel like they had to be more connected to their patient. I don't know how else to explain it, but as you do this and you put this as a standard, you'll be amazed on how much more responsibility comes out of your therapist. Last one had to do with organization. Now, again, we used to have paper charts, and then obviously they went to EMR also, but front desk has to be able to tell the standards have been completed. So how good are your charts, whether they're EMR or paper charts, mostly EMR or electronic right now, but how good are they that your front desk can look at it and say, yes, the standards have been completed? Because if they don't, then the notes aren't being done quality enough. And they might go, oh my gosh, that means that now I have to tell them they have to even take longer notes? No, actually, we simplified it down. And then when we get to Tactic 2 and Tactic 3 and explain the other ones in other videos, you'll see that our daily note can be done with any technique, covers all these standards, and it can be scanned up and then typed, whatever needs to be typed in your EMR. And the front desk can simply pull and look up that last scan sheet, and it's kind of all sits there. So, cool. All right, so once you have these agreed upon by your staff, now we have to go about, and so what they are is here, 1, 2, 3. Again, we've got the minimum amount of education. If you've never taken a total emotion release class, we actually teach our patients, don't just treat them, all right? So they understand an entire recipe for themselves. It's really neat, and in Tactic 2, I'll share some of that with you. All right, so initially we just want them to do a little bitty chunk. It's kind of like we want to learn how to do addition in single digits, right? And then we want to take them up to triple digits, all right? And then we said, okay, that we think we can get most of our patients even further, and we can get multiplying and dividing. It's the same thing. We began initially with just making them get to the Fab 6 with all the tweaks. And then we made them get to up to lesson 7, and then we up to lesson 12, and then some of them up to lesson 15. And we had 88% of our patients going through all 15 of our lessons. So they not only went through and did amazing stuff with their own issue, they were able to fix themselves for lots of issues and have it for home. So they learned it once and they can now use it for a lifetime. Really cool stuff about total emotion release. Whether you can have an education on what you do if you're a McKenzie therapist, definitely you can. So anyways, your progressive goals are met, attend the last visit and front desk review. Once you've done that, you're going to pull 10 charts. Polling was the old way. You're going to go look at 10 charts on your EMR and see, have this like on a little spreadsheet and check off whether they met the criteria. Did they get 8 visits in, right? Did they meet the goals that were set out on the evaluation? What percent better were they? A lot of times you won't even see any of this stuff. You won't be able to tell, right? Some EMRs are better as far as that goes, right? When you do that, you'll see what your percentage is. You know, if you have 3 therapists, pull 30 charts, check them out, see what you find. Pull 5 charts, it doesn't really matter. You'll get to what your true number is, percentage is. And for us, it was 34%. I since found, there was a study done and found out the average is, I want to say it's 40%. It was 34 to 40% is the average. So those of you thinking, oh, 70% complete, man, a third of your people are completing treatment. And it's being seen, not maybe just by yourself, but even your therapist, as being a really good job. So that alone took us from 34% putting these standards in, and with some tactic 1 or tactic 2 and 3, which I'll show in later videos, from 34% to between 84 and 87 or 88% completions in 6 weeks. So gang, why do you want this? The more organized your system is, and your system includes your team, the organized your team is, following the same path, going down the same highway, it'll naturally, you're focusing on the same things. You focus on this stuff and your people will get better. Your numbers will get better. You will feel like, wow, the team is helping me grow this company together because it's our company. Fair enough? All right, thanks for listening. Look forward to seeing you guys on Tactic 2 and 3 videos. Remember, there's TMR staff training that includes this. There's no extra cost. I love doing this for owners. TMR staff training is on the website at totalmotionrelease.com. And you'll just, right up top it says staff training. Check out the video. I will go through with your staff setting this up with you. So a lot of fun. I'm not sure fun, but it's work, but it's fun once you see the rewards for it. So again, thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join me if you're an owner, and let's make your continuing education, not only make your people more awesome at treating patients, but getting them to finish too. No other continuing education offers this type of training as staff training too, along with the continuing education at no extra cost. So again, look forward to it, and again, I hope in the future you'll take me up on what we're offering. Thanks now.